grew up living below the poverty line, and I've gone to being in the upper 10%. How did I do that? Well, one thing that you have to first start out with is what's your mindset? My mom would always say, don't get hurt because we can't afford to go to the hospital. We never had health insurance. One of the things I was always told as a kid, we can't, and whatever, fill in the blank. We can't buy a house, we can't afford food, we can't afford heat, whatever that might be. And one of the keys to going from poor to wealthy is effectively you need to change your mindset. You need to change from this I can't mentality to how can I? It needs to become a question rather than a statement. Let me give you an example of something like this. So let's buy an apartment complex. Someone would say, I can't afford millions of dollars worth of rental properties. There's no way. But then the rich will say, how can I afford, or how can I purchase a multi-million-dollar rental property? Maybe I find a distressed property. Maybe I find something that needs some repairs. Maybe I can use deferred maintenance credits. Maybe I take possession of the property on the 6th of the month rather than at the beginning of the month or the end of the month, because at least then I'll have the person collect all the rent from the tenants and that'll be credited to my account. And with apartments greater than 5 units, you can also use something called deferred maintenance credits. And maybe you need to build a relationship with a lender or a bank or some institution that's more of a regional bank, not a national or a local bank. And you may need to actually ask many apartment owners before you find that one. I'm going to talk to 100 different apartment complexes and see who's willing to sell it, or what type of financing I can get. Who knows, maybe the owner owns it outright and there's no mortgage to pay off or anything. Maybe I could talk about having the owner finance it, and maybe I pay them monthly what I'm earning from the apartment complex. It's how can I help solve the problem of somebody else. Maybe they're getting too close to retirement, they don't want to keep fixing toilets, or they haven't really put a system in place. Pay them the fair share of what they need. Maybe it's a win-win for both of us. As long as you're able-bodied and you can change your mindset and move from this I can't to how can I, being prepared, learning new skills, growing as a person, understand other people, be open, listen, and offer up solutions. As long as you're willing to try, put effort in, and do it consistently over long periods of time, you will become wealthy. There's no doubt in my mind. Anybody can do this, barring, cancer, something that's debilitating. Look, the first one you try, it's probably not going to succeed. Don't take a risk that's going to ruin you, but I take small risks with a lot of upside potential. So I assume I'm going to fail 19 times out of 20, but that 1 out of 20 or 5%, 5% of businesses last long term. Over 95% of all businesses out there are going to fail. You can either look at that as, oh man, 95% of businesses fail. Well, when I fail at something, I don't die. I get another chance. As long as I learn and grow from the experience of the past failures, the next one's going to be more successful. Just make sure you're learning and growing from each experience. If you've ever heard the term of failing forward, you're going to learn from each of those issues. So never take a risk that is so great that it ruins you and your family financially. You work full-time, keep one foot in a nice steady position where you have a stable income, provide for yourself and your family, but then take that other foot and pivot around, try some things out. You never know which one will take off. Don't get discouraged if you fail a bunch of times. It's going to happen. Here's an example for you. Even when Elon Musk wrote all the code for PayPal, he had this huge idea in mind. He spent a lot of time preparing all of that. And in the end, the only thing that mattered was processing credit card payments online, which he did in less than a weekend. He had to have months and months of failures that nobody was interested in to have one success. That one success was worth, I believe it was like 180 million or something like that. You don't know which things are going to take off. Learn from each of the failures. It's not a failure if I learn and grow from something. So for instance, I silkscreened. I ran a small landscaping company, a construction company. I had a bakery. I've made money on all of these things, but it wasn't an overall success where I was able to retire. I didn't have the right systems in place, which I learned that in order to get rich, you need to get rich by putting a system in place that you make money while you sleep. Investing, I've done very well. YouTube is another one that has a good system behind it. Amazon affiliates and other affiliate programs, all of these things, they run in the background. I don't have to manage. Redbubble is another one if you're artistic, so then you can draw some things. They basically handle all the logistics, payments, shipping, printing, things like that, and you just could be focusing on being an artist. So you really need to figure out what you're good at, what people are willing to pay, and then try to automate it as much as possible. Automation might be a computer thing, or it might be you hire employees, train them, and then they go off and do it. Hopefully this makes the point of, at the very least, change your words, start saying, how can I do this? It'll improve your life greatly. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and have a great day.